Okay. YouTube back office is being super weird. Frickin' can't edit any of the info for the stream from the stream. I had to go through like a whole other side menu. Dude, I do not understand. I'm just glad I could turn this to public, because you leave this private, no one's watching. So we got a lot to do today. I got to bail at 3 though. I got to pick some stuff up. Sadly, the tournament is not tomorrow like I thought, which that hurts. I got all hyped up, and then frickin' I get an email that's just like, hey, make sure your list is in, but also you have to pay attention, because if any points changes occur before April 2nd, you'll need to make the adjustments. And I went, wow, that's crazy that I'd have to make adjustments after the tournament. And that's when my brain was like, you're an idiot. Oh shit, I need my water cup. BRB.
This is the future. Evolution.
So like that was a whole thing. Well, just my brain being like, hey man, should probably think this through.
Evolution.
So I kind of want to power through a bunch of stuff today. We have the rattlings almost done. We're gonna have to put their base texture on, which I was kind of hoping to do yesterday, but I really needed to bail.
This is the future. Human error.
So we got small details to apply to the rattlings at this point.
Evolution. This
Oh,
is the future.
I'll probably bring this up a few times in the stream. So a while ago, I ordered tokens for a tournament from Grot Skull. It's over on Etsy. Where? There you go. So yeah, tokens. I got a bunch of Knights tokens, Thousand Suns tokens, Battle Shock tokens. I purchased Gene Stealer Cult tokens. I want to say I did. So I have a ton of tokens now, which is good because we got that tournament coming. The hit range, +1 battle shock test, 4+ invulnerable range. Yeah, these are my Knights tokens. I think these are my Gene Stealer Cult tokens. -1 to hit, can't be shot outside of 12. Pretty sure these are my Gene Stealer Cult tokens. 1 AP, yeah, these are my Gene Stealer Cult tokens. What's this? Battle Shock tokens. So I have 1,000 Suns, Knights, Gene Stealer Cults, and Battle Shock, which is excellent. Especially since we got, you know, tournament coming up. A lot of people are leaning into this. I also got my mats for my terrain so that I know where obscuring lines are. I don't know if I'll need those at tournaments, but at the very least, the games I play at local stores or with local people, I'll have them on hand so I can, you know, do what needs to be done.
Yeah, this is my life, my strife, my right to fight, to die on. And this is my game to play, to claim a brand new name, oh. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done. But what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look
I'll do uniform gray for highlights. Maybe? I think I already did uniform gray, right? Yeah, we already did uniform gray. We gotta do ash. Let me get the focus set for you guys. Yeah. Does zoom work? Does zoom not look bad or good? Zoom seems fine. Bust out the ash gray. Get some highlights going. Well, yeah, with the rattlings complete, squad's done. Finally, we can move on to the orcs. Keep rolling with this hype, get another video out. Hopefully. I gotta just start going through the B-roll that I've been taking of all the work that I've been doing. See if I can get a video going. Silver going. I'm gonna do the bronzing trick. Grab my snakebite leather. Do some adjustments on both weapons because it's, I mean, doing one whole basic color is not great. Like just keeping metallic weapons a single metallic color. You want to add a little bit of interest in anything metal that you apply. Bit of extra distance. It's usually enough to get people interested. DATASLATE's got me hyped to play, man, but I gotta find a group I'm gonna play. Like, I actually really want to play now. Let's do the brass. Kind of want to pull the gun frame back a little bit. Brass on the bullet that's back here. Brass on this freaking muzzle brake. I've had people in my local group ask me if I would ever do 40K games on my channel, and I was like, dude, if I had the space, absolutely. Like, I do feel like you almost need a studio setup to be able to record properly a whole 40K game. I've seen some new channels coming up trying to do the 40K thing. It's a scary prospect. Some of the channels I've seen who are like, yo, let's check out 40K. Why is that symbol there? But some of the channels I've seen that have been like, hey, let's do 40K, right? They've imitated kind of how Tabletop and a few other channels I've seen do it, and it's like, all right, yeah, no, that seems like the way to go, right? Let me make sure I actually see my channel. Okay, good. It does show that I'm live. I don't know, it's weird. YouTube's back office is being weird today. Let's go with Black Legion. And one of the videos I saw was decent. It had a lot of conversation. It showed a lot of what they were doing. It was good. It had some banter. The two people playing weren't really that well versed in the game, I guess. At least not all the ins and outs of it, or at least what their opponents were doing. But you know, that's fine. It's cool to watch, in my opinion. See people kind of getting into the learning aspect of the game, figuring some stuff out, maybe applying it to future battle reports. You can watch as they evolve over time. It's cool. But like, dude, the comments, because they posted it on the Warhammer subreddit, the Warhammer community subreddit. And like the people in the comments were just like, I can't believe you didn't know that that's a thing that army has. It's like, whoa, dude. You need to calm down. So like, that's the one thing I'm not looking forward to. Because I think even like the big channels get it. The people who are just friggin' armchair strategists. The hindsight warriors, like...
Poggers.
Freaking hindsight warriors, man. It's crazy. Because I watch a lot of War Games live whenever he's streaming like tournaments and stuff, and it feels like the same exact thing. It's just people who are like, I know better. I have the full deets on what should have happened here. it's like, dude, it's not that serious. But yeah, we just got our pamphlets, which is good. Probably, I need to take another look at the pamphlet at some point here. We'll look at it a little while streaming. Augment some of the gun to be black. Let's do this middle part. Pull this pamphlet up because I am actually interested in going over it a little more. Entry fee, relevant FAQs will be in play. Rules cut off April 2nd. Please make sure members of your team register in BCP. I did that. This is my first Trios event, so please bear with me. Okay. Judges hold final say. Absolutely. Should a judge get a rule wrong, that does not bind the event to continue getting it wrong. Respect all judges. Yeah, okay. I got to keep that in mind. I'm thinking there might be some moments in this game where people might get a little aggressive. This is probably the main reason I'm deciding to go 1,000 Suns over frickin' Wormblade or anything, because I feel like the rules interactions that my 1,000 Suns team takes part in is good. Like, I'm not gonna need to worry that much about, you know, like weird sneaky rules and interactions and such. I think the main thing is if I use Magnus, his damage reduction, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Melta application for damage for close range occurs after any reductions or alterations. So even if I do the special rule that lets me reduce incoming damage to 0, I'm pretty sure the Melta still happens. Pretty sure the Melta still happens. So I gotta kind of keep that in mind. These guys are almost done. I don't really know what else I have to do outside of these small details that we're just hitting here. Get this. Small details on small characters, man. Bald rat, rat with hair. We gotta, once we get the basing material on this, I think we're gonna hit the base for my Castigator with primer to get it prepped and ready so I can start applying stuff. Technically, I have until the 2nd to decide to go back to Chaos Knights. I don't know. I definitely don't feel like I've cracked the Chaos Knight code. But then again, this is kind of like a casual tournament. I doubt there's going to be a lot going on that's going to make me be like, oh no, I have to be perfect at all times. This is how my social anxiety works. All I'm really thinking of right now is if I don't do well enough and my teammate is doing really good, despite him saying he's not that great and is mostly going to be in the bottom for this tournament. If he's doing insanely good and he's like, oh my god, we could take top spot, and I'm just doing poorly, then this moment of him having like the mental capacity of a freaking strategic god is suddenly wasted because I'm just dicking around with a team that doesn't really work. Just trying to, like, you know, have fun and see if I can do some interesting things with it. So, like, that would suck, you know, letting down my teammate like that. But then, on the other hand, if this team starts doing insanely well and I'm just kicking ass, taking names, doing crazy stuff. Meanwhile, my teammate is over there, like, barely holding his own, getting, like, frickin' 100 to 20, like, almost every match. Like, he might feel bad for holding me back. And I don't want that. Like, it's, at the end of the day, I'm not even really looking for a trophy out of this. I've got my kill team trophy. It's over there on my shelf. I'm not really feeling that I'm gonna get a 40k trophy anytime soon. Hell yeah. I think we're good on these guys now. There's really not a lot else I want to do with these ratlings. We can get the crackle paste down and be good with it. Crackle paste. Where'd my push brush go? There it is. So I bought more dice. Supposedly, the tournaments, like, you can use Games Workshop dice. I think a lot of tournaments are starting to get a little annoyed at the consistent outpouring of news of people using weighted dice. Because the game's getting way more popular, so, like, we're getting people into the community who are just like, I'm only here to win at any cost. And it's like, dude, calm down. It's not that serious. Like, you look at tournaments, and everything I've seen out of tournaments makes it feel like what are you doing? Like, there's no prize pool. You're winning a trophy that's gonna tell everyone that you're king of the nerds. Like, it's not that serious. But meanwhile, you got people out here who are just like, weighted dice, baby. Can't wait to ruin people's days. Like, Jesus, man. Calm down. So it's to the point where tournament organizers are like, you're using our dice or you're using Games Workshop certified dice. And it's like, oh, geez. That's the thing, though. I've seen competitive games, like a lot of the competitive tournaments, and this is probably the main reason why I'm cool going to this tournament. A lot of the tournaments War Games Live has been showing, they're so casual, and it's good. It feels so good to, like, watch that and be like, oh, I could easily take part in that. Like, I've seen lists come out of competitive tournaments that are like, dude, there's no way this is a competitive tournament. This is a guy who, like, created a meme list to see if it would work and did okay. Like, that was, I think, the interview with the guy who did the World Eaters list that was 3 Mauler Fiends, 2 Forge Fiends, like, some Demon Princey stuff, and, like, that was basically it. He was like, I put this list together in the last minute because I thought it would be kind of, like, fun to run, and I did not expect it to win. And it's like, huh, maybe tournaments are not what I thought they were. Like, there's definitely a little bit of it. There was one tournament where he was, there was a 1000 Sun player on the stream, and he was basically talking how the list he made was perfect. And that, like, very few things in the game will be able to beat it. And, like, that's the kind of thing where I'm like, oh, dude, gross.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain, I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, a disease, a plague, we all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name, all our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be, living in a time where disease is on every screen, I won't let.
But, like, everyone else that played was just like, check this out. I bet you've never seen this unit before, and it's like, dude, I love that. Like, if I ever go up against a team that's, like, just rocking weird units, I'm like, dude, congratulations, you have my respect. Like, I want to go up against a team with, you know those Space Marines that fly that have autocannons? If I went up against an army that was just, like, bulk that, like, they had as many of those as possible, I'd be like, dude, this is gonna be fun. The issue is I don't know if the list I'm taking is good. I think the game that I played with it might have been a little bit of a fluke. Because there's some people in the local club who, they do the fun thing, I think. They do the, I like the unit, so I'm playing it kind of situation. Or the, I have the unit, so I'm playing them. Like, they play for that. Which is fine. So, like, I don't know. I feel like the list my Magnus Walks the Dog list went against, maybe it was just like, it was like a perfect storm of just good and bad rolls, turn one. Followed up by just 2 really crazy turns of rolling from me. Like, I don't know. Because turn 1, I either rolled my 5+ invulns to stop all damage, or I rolled all my Feel No Pains. Which is so wild if you think about it. Like, that should not probably have happened. Because he did dump so much damage. He had first turn on me, and I was like, alright, I gotta weather the storm first turn, see what happens, and make my calls. And I weathered. The whole time, it was just like, hey, you're taking no damage, hey, you're taking no damage, hey, you're taking no damage. And he was just constantly like, well, I gotta keep using my weapons to try to kill it. I was like, dude, yeah, you do, I guess. Why does Adepticon have you stressing, bro? Adepticon should be a fun time. I'm doing good. We're almost done. Like, this basing and then waiting for it to dry, that's the end of the Blackstone Fortress models we've been working on for, like, weeks. Weeks! I need to change this song. Weeks! I got my video out about the DATASLATE. I'm trying to stay pumped so I can get more videos going. I'm looking over the tournament rule list. If you have an emergency, let the TO know. Quitting due to a difficult opponent is not acceptable or sportsmanlike. Again, contact a judge. Do not quit early if you can avoid it. Quitting makes pairings, brackets, and running the tournament very difficult. Agreed. Regular play speed. All right, so play speed. So every round is 3 hours. At the 3 hour total, start round formally. 2 hours 50 minutes should be begin deployment. 2 hours 30 deployment complete. Hour 50 first battle round complete. Hour 10 second battle round complete. 40 minutes third battle round. 20 minutes fourth battle round. So they want whole battle rounds to take about 40 minutes, which with my list I think I can do. I think I can do it. Oh, you went to Adepticon? How'd you do? Kind of wish I could go. I need a mobile way to edit videos because that's my main job right now is editing videos for other people. So like I can't, literally the only days I really have to myself to be able to run things and do stuff is Friday, Saturday. So like for major tournaments where I'd have to be there Thursday night to be ready, it's like, it's not good. If I can get a mobile way to take my editing everywhere that I go, whole new story though. We in it. We ready to go. 0-4, Jesus. Terminators, from what I understand, Terminators are alright in very limited number and meant for a specific thing. They're not meant to kill. The best elements I've seen from Terminators is to go to a place where you're going to annoy your opponent for being there and just being annoying for like 2 turns. But I will say, you need to be very picky and choosy as to what enemy you're going to stand against in that way. Because I played against a guy with my Gene Stealer called... The thing is, I don't really want to lean into, hey, we made a game off of a known IP because we figured it wouldn't sell well without it. Like, I don't know. There's a part of it that doesn't feel good because they have to pay for the rights to use that title. And if they don't, like, it costs a lot of money. Like, I don't think it's a good way to go for making games because then you're beholden to someone else at, like, all times. Hopefully it works out, but yeah. Also, I mean, you haven't been here, but I brought up the other day because people were like, hey, you gonna get into this? I think someone asked if I was gonna get into 30K, right? Kill Team, 40K, AOS, Underworlds, Warcry. That's where I'm at right now with the rule sets that I'm trying to learn, and I definitely move rule sets between them by accident because there's just too much. Like, I'm glad AOS is getting simplified and modulated simply because the current AOS rules are like, oh my god. Remembering distances and how everything works, it's like, I don't like it. Alright, so basing is on. We gotta wait for it to dry. Orcs will be soon. First, we got a couple things to do with my knight, which I should really clear a spot out over here for my knight to stand when I move him. I'm gonna need to move him. Flashpoint looks cool, and I know a lot of people are talking about it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. There's only so much time in my life. I don't know how long I've got left. missed so much stuff, dude. Oh my god. So many wires. Huh. Alright, let's get this camera moved. Maybe zoom out a little. Yeah, there you go. Focus. I'm not hyped because of rats. Rats are fine. I know rats are like a fan favorite. There's a guy local to me who's getting into Gene Stealer cult, but he's doing the cheese stealer cult conversion. Oh, dude, Shammy, have you not been around like this long? I can't remember the last time you were here. We worked on my castigator. This is my castigator conversion. Tons of Zinch parts, lots of chain work. We did a relief sculpture on like all the armor pieces. The thing was, the base we got with it originally, if you pressed down on either side of the base, he would rock back and forth. That is horrifying for something of this size. Like, dude, I was driving. Oh god. I was driving to a tournament, or a game that I had rather. And the whole time I was driving there, I was looking over at the box he was in, just watching him rock back and forth as I would take turns, and I was like, I can't do this. So I bought a new base and had to redo all of the basing on it. So I decided to actually buy milliput this time around, because milliput is a big part of this kind of base work. So now we got milliput down. Now I just need to find my brush to apply it. Because the texture paste I use wants primer to be down on the base that it's about to be applied to, so we're just going to apply primer on points and then let it dry. But yeah, this is my castigator. I had a moment of financial weakness and decided that I wanted a castigator. Spoilers, it really doesn't change much about how good the Chaos Knights are. It's just a really cool model. Like, seriously, I probably went up against the worst possible army to fight with my knights. It was so bad, dude. And my opponent got so lucky. He did this, he did a turn 1 Wog, or a turn 2 Wog. He was like, I don't know if this is gonna work, and I hope it does. Because he really wanted the Beast Riders to get into combat, because all Beast Riders that he had were anti-tank. So, like, Beast Riders in combat against Knights is basically a dead Knight. They're anti-tank 4+ with dev wounds, and they actually do really good damage. Right? Dude, I was standing in the store staring at him, and I was like, you know what? An almost $200 purchase is fine. I think he is actually $200. This is Mario Kart as hell. Legally distinct Mario Kart. Oh, more new AOS news. Priority roll. Oh yeah, that's right. They changed it. Apparently getting double turn actually sort of screws the player who gets double turn. Which, every game of AOS I have played, I've been double turned against. And it ruins me. Every time. It's always first and second turn, too. Actually, no. It's first turn I usually go, which means I position myself in weird places. And I'm like, yeah. And then my opponent goes. And then they go first the next round. And then they go first the following round as well. Oh, no. That's what double turning is, right? Double turning isn't getting the initiative twice. It's going second, then going first. All right, Armies of Chaos, Chaos Knights. I'm pretty sure he's 200 bucks. Yeah, he's 200 bucks. I was just staring at him and I was like, maybe it's worth it. Let me tell you, after his performance, I do need to use him differently. I was using him in a very restrictive way. I was trying to like hold back a little bit and try to find the right moment to use him. But like, by the time he was in use, all of my little guys were dead. My opponent was playing orcs. His cavalry got the advance and charge rule. I think that's from WoG. I'm not too sure. But they got advance and charge. And then they all rolled 6s on their advance roll. Every single one of them. It was so bad. I lost so many knights. I worked so hard too to position my knights perfectly to try to give myself extra rounds of shooting to try to kill most of his units. Like, I genuinely put effort in on spacing and everything. So this guy provides sustained to everything on the field that I can get near him or provide with long leash as a buff, right? And like, I kept for 2 turns giving everything on the field that I had sustained, and I had a lot of brigands and like all these multi-attack units, like crazy multi-attack units, and I never rolled a sustained roll the entire game. Meanwhile, my opponent got all 6s on advanced. And then just absolutely crushed all my units with dev wounds and anti-tank. It was not the matchup that worked. Like, I don't know how I could have handled it. I had so many bad situations. Hopefully we can get this guy's texture paste down today. Because I still have time. I can still undo my list that I locked in for the tournament. And be like, nah, I'm doing knights, actually. Which I'm probably not going to want to do. Because one of my teammates is playing Imperial Knights, and honestly, doing Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights in a 3v3 is like, feels a little too wild and try-hardy, I guess. Or just like, not interesting, maybe. I don't know how many Thousand Sun players there are locally, so maybe it'll be cool to show up as a Thousand Sun player. Just blow people's minds as I drop 3 Mutalith Vortex Beasts on the field. I do still have time to change it too, because right now I'm rocking 3 Mutaliths and 2 Forge Fiends. But I could drop the Forge Fiends for other stuff. Because right now my army list is extremely susceptible to bring it down. like extremely susceptible to bring it down. So if I drop the Forge Fiends and maybe like fill out with like more Zangors, maybe a Demon Prince with wings to get some mobility, maybe some Demon allies, I don't know. One of those things I gotta think about. Okay. Yeah, man, 3v3 tournament. Should be fun. Where was Adepticon? Is that Washington, D.C.? I'm trying to remember. Or is it like Washington State? Where was it? I keep thinking it's East Coast, but maybe I'm wrong. I know I've had people ask if Milliput would work kind of like green stuff. After using Milliput, no. Green stuff gets more detail. Clean up a little bit. Oh, Chicago. I was way off. Where did my jungle tool go? Where did I put it? Alright, that's gotta dry. My jungle tool away, and then we'll get working on the orcs. The orcs are actually going to be looking nice. So what we're going to try, once I get this all wrapped up and put away, I bought a ton of corkboard, and I'm already expecting it to get extremely messy, and I'm not happy about that. I'm going to have to vacuum down here. I opened up the container for it, and it was like falling apart already. Like there was like dust and everything everywhere. But yeah, so for my orcs, I want them to be very like dramatic looking. And you don't get dramatic easily out of texture paste. So the plan, we have so much painting to do on them, man. Let me pull the camera back. This is more Mario Kart ass music, man. So the plan with these guys . Not easy. This is a weird snake light. There we go. So the plan is to basically razor blade them off of their surfaces. We can try it with this guy. Always good to try first. What's up, Mike? The sociopath. So forward with your social proclivities. the amount of people who are just like, I don't see any orcs. Do I want scissors or do I want to just use... Okay. Skip. So, corkboard. Let me go grab my scissors. There we go. I think we can get all the corkboard off of one of these that we're gonna need. Psychomancer buff is good. Psychomancer's always been good on a strategic level, especially in close quarters. Dude, close quarters for the Psychomancer, forget about it. It's so good. Alright, so the goal of corkboard basing is to kinda... I mean, is the Custody player you're going against doing, is he doing Lazy Man Custodies or is he doing Real Custodies? Real Custodies, I mean, it's a good buff, still. But if he's Lazy Man Custodying, it's not that bad. This, I don't know if this glue will work. Maybe we'll try the Gorilla Glue instead. Okay, so he's gonna be rocking the sisters and everything. I think we went upside down with this. Okay, so the trick with this is once this dries, I'm gonna have to go all around and trim to try to like solidify the shape. Which maybe I can just start doing here. God, this corkboard's so messy. Are you doing close quarters? Because that'll really push the Psychomancer to like full power. Friggin' lethal 5 on that gun of his. Oh, it's so good. No, I'm trimming. I need to change the song. hold. I was kind of hoping I could get thinner corkboard than this, because one of the guys in the Discord showed one of his models, and the bases looked really good. And I could have swore he used a texture paste that was like super good for crackling. And I was like, dude, what the hell did you use for that? And he was like, I used corkboard. I was like, no way. So he has like this, he bought like a thing of corkboard that was maybe, because most corkboard you purchase is designed for push pins, right? So when you put this, you're supposed to put it on a wall, and it's supposed to be long enough for a push pin to go through so it doesn't hit the wall behind it. I don't care. I'm not putting push pins in this. But the way it worked for him is like it was just so thin that it was like a mild layer above the surface of the base, so you don't get like this much extra height. This is a whole other base on top of a base, which I hate. But it's gonna have to work here. But yeah, if you're doing close quarter, Psychomancer is gonna be super good. I kind of like the Technomancer, his buff. I know a lot of people are going back and forth about it because it sounds like it's no longer a buff you choose. It's just in the abilities now. I honestly think you do still have to choose it. I think the choosing of it is what puts it in the abilities. But then that also means he only can take one action, which means he, in theory, has a ton of stuff he can do in a round. Because the Hyrotech are one of the only, I think there's maybe only one other faction, I can't remember. They're one of the only factions that can get to 4 APL on a character. The leader of the squad can go to 4 APL, which means if he's the Technomancer and your Apprentech is already using the one ability he gets, if you're doing the Resurrection Aura on top of it, your Technomancer can now move, dash, shoot, command, and then perform his own mission action. That's so much stuff. It's so much stuff. It's wild to think about. I need a trash bag. Box. I go to the bathroom, BRB. Okay. How do I handle this part now? I feel like... Alright, so I feel like if I glue him to this surface, he'll, like, touching him will knock him off. But how do you do cork boards? Let me take a look at something. Because I have Mod Podge. I'm thinking of using the Mod Podge. Tactical rocks can stand up chunks. I paid like $10. I bought mine on Amazon. Stop buying everything from Amazon. It's a terrible company. Do a prime citizen. Usually corkboard, craft source. I'm sure Amazon does. Here's a good corkboard base tutorial. I want to see. sand, yeah, okay. Priming? They just go right into priming, dry brushing, tyrant skull, edges, turf, grass, pin. Oh! Wait a second. Poster tag? Oh, he does it in a way I never expected. Alright, what we're gonna do. This is kind of clear. Let me grab my Mod Podge. So the way the thing I just looked at does it is you drill into the feet of the units going on it to put a pin in their feet, because then you're just pressuring it into the cork. And then they put down like a tacky paste. And the tacky paste is what holds the unit down. Oh, nice. I see your mini carrying case. Yeah. Oh god, this stuff is so sticky.
Told my boss that I'm done. Had no luck with my mom. Say, what will you do with your life?
How the hell do we do this? Oh god, I can smell it, dude. This is just PVA glue. This is gonna ruin this brush, or do I have a better brush? Because I like this brush for frickin'. Okay, we'll use this brush. Oh no, this is rubber. Okay. We'll use this brush. So we're applying PVA glue, or Mod Podge matte glue, to try and solidify the surfaces and make it so that they don't fall apart. Because that's what my biggest issue with the idea of corkboard was, is that it would basically unsolidify and just fall apart while I'm playing the game. But if I can make it a solid brick and then paint over top of that, I think I'm happy. And I feel like Mod Podge is gonna be the thing that makes that work. This should prevent a lot of the cork from coming off, because it's just gonna give it a protective layer of matte PVA glue. Mod Podge. Not really that worried about it being matte in the terms of texture. This was a suggestion. I picked up Mod Podge because I saw someone suggest that if you do a lot of like weird textury bases that involves like sand and rocks and stuff, what they want you to do is after you put the base down, oh, and pigment and everything. After you get everything down, they're like, yeah, put Mod Podge over top of it. And when it dries matte, you won't really see it. But like, dude, it's one of those things where I'm so afraid Where like someone's like, yeah, it'll dry clear, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, until I do it, and then the thing I did it to dries, and it's like foggy white. And it's like, you assholes. What's up, Long Furby? Alright, so the question is, do we want to just cork all of the bases now? Get that started. Because it'll take a minute. I'm pretty sure the Mod Podge will take a while to dry, too. Yeah, we're gonna brush prime black, maybe, or we'll just actually airbrush prime black. Get the basic night colors on, like the blues and stuff, and then we're gonna run white ink in the crack, and then I'm going to apply the yellow orange fluorescent in the crack with the white ink, so that it's just like fiery stuff down there. And I think that'll look good. But yeah, we're gonna cork the bases. So we kind of have to get through it. This is gonna take a minute. Work the focus for you guys. Focus, focus. Thank God my friend is, like, good at not overdoing base glowing. Dude, I did a whole video on it. You just here for the TLDR, my guy? I like him. I like the new rules. I like the updates. I like how they're pushing towards... Like, I like them for the idea of, like, a competitive mindset. And, like, decent competitive balance. I can see why others might not. I can see why others might not, because you have to consider the idea, right, that... Oh, where did that actually go? Did that? And that... Ooh, what happened here? Oh, okay. I see it now. Like, so there's in the Games Workshop universe, right? There's sort of camps of being that focus on, this is fun for just general gameplay and narrative. We don't want competition. We don't want, like, the competitive mindset to be part of what we're doing. So, like, there's there's those people. People who want to, like, keep Games Workshop games kind of feeling a little casual. Like, there's no emphasis on winners and losers, that kind of stuff. There's that group of people who want that. But the new DATASLATE kind of moves away from that, which I kind of moves closer to being balanced for a competitive mindset, which I actually really like. Alright, we need to let this dry a bit. For trimming. No. Oh, the Night Lords kill team? We kind of expected them to be, like, more Phobos than Legionary. And they feel that way. They've got that built in. They've got super conceal. I like the mandrakes. I was worried that Games Workshop was running out of fun ideas. Like, that was actually a problem. Because if you consider everything we've seen so far for Season 3, it's literally been a team of quick-moving Xenos that do good melee damage versus a team of scouts of some kind. A team of, like, mobile elites. Like, everything we've seen up till now is basically just that on repeat. And, like, that was worrying. That was so worrying to me, is that that's what we were getting for, like, every season. But then for them to be like, oh, by the way, the mandrakes teleport. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm back in. Oh, yeah, we're doing all right. Everything's cool. Because I saw the whole, like, oh, yeah, Night Lords get, you know, a type of super conceal. I was like, oh. Okay. You know, it didn't seem that impressive. It didn't seem that interesting as a rule. And then they were like, mandrakes teleport. And I was like, yep, alright. Alright, cool. We're in. That is such a good... Mandrakes are going to be strong, I think. Because if you consider, again, how the game is supposed to work, it's a game of scoring, it's a game of being on the points you need to be on, blah, blah, blah. The mandrakes are the embodiment of that, in my opinion. They're the embodiment of get to where you need to be, do what you need to do. ITD for mandrakes is going to be insane, I think. I have to double check the rule. I don't think... Actually, no, I think they can. I think they can circumvent the you can't go here rule. Let me take a look at their stuff again. Where is the rules? I'm also trying to keep track of AOS. I'm actually super excited about AOS getting the big changes. What is this song? Skip. Ooh, this is retro. We're doing a lot today. I'm going over the tournament package for a tournament I'm going to next weekend. It's not for everyone that I was like, oh, I can't wait for tomorrow because it's tournament time. It's not tournament time. It's next week. I don't think they're going to release them for Compendium. They're just going to release new teams. They said they didn't want to keep looking at the Compendium. Honestly, in my opinion, the Compendium, if they ever update it, it's going to be it's going to be in the same fashion as the White Dwarf teams, and they're going to do it if stuff starts to slow down. Like if they want to try to keep interest in Kill Team without having too much to change or too many new units coming, they're just going to do... Oh yeah. So yeah, they're gonna do something like a little different. What's MetaWatch talking about today? I don't want to watch MetaWatch. We'll watch MetaWatch later. Where are the Mandrake rules? I want to read about the teleport. Oh god, no. Wait, no, is this how to paint them? Or is this them announcing the... That's them announcing the battle report that I can't watch because I don't have Warhammer Plus. No. Or do they not have the preview of the Night Lords? I thought they had a preview of them. Kill Team. LVO Kill Team descends into nightmares. Pre-order now. Kill Team Terminatus Brothers Sunday. Do they? All right, it's got to be on the Reddit. I remember someone posted it. Yeah, if you have the rule for their teleport, post it so I can take a look at it. Because that is something I'm interested in. Depending on how it's worded, you'll be able to teleport into closed rooms, in close quarters terrain. Because if you don't have to measure to where you're going, then you're fine. Hodgepodge. I need to favorite this. I could actually easily see using this on the channel. Even though we're not like video games as much. Still very viable. Where would you put it? Would you put it in random? Tabletop gaming? With someone... New people! No! I'm pretty sure they leave. Unable to load profile banner. I think they left. Just posted it here. Wait, where did you post it? Oh no. Where is it? Rules chat? I'm not seeing it in the Discord. And the device technically works as a webcam, but a webcam you can program with things. Like I can program overlays onto it so that like there's stuff for you to look at while we're playing, and I can swap scenes with it. So it'll work as a webcam that also doubles as a straight up like visual editing device. Multiple camera angles, multiple audio. Oh, tabletop gaming. Badoosh! There we are. There we are. An operative is within shadow if any of the following are true. If it's within an inch of heavy terrain part of a terrain feature and that part is not lower than it. Any part of its base underneath a vantage point. Okay, that's part of it. What's the other part? Oh, this is the whole. Hang on. If this operative is within shadow, perform a free normal move action with it. But instead of moving it, remove it from the kill zone, set it back up again within shadow, but not within engagement range nor line of sight of enemy operatives. It cannot make shooting attacks until the next turning point. Each friendly Mandrake operative is 5+ invulnerable save, 4+ if it's in shadow. Soul strike. Invulnerable saves cannot be used. Ooh. Whoa! Operatives have ranged weapons with the soul strike special roll. Each time a friendly operative makes a shooting attack with such a weapon, in the roll defense dice step of the shooting attack, successful saves are determined by invulnerables cannot be used. Each result that is equal to or less than the target's APL is a successful save and is retained. Equal to or less? Each result that is higher than the target's APL is discarded. Oh my god. Each retained result of a 1 is a critical save. They invert your save and focus it on APL rather than... Oh my god. So here's the thing. The rules for Into the Dark explicitly state you cannot measure through walls. You can't measure through walls. So if you have an ability that requires you to measure a distance, the wall does not allow you to measure it. This is very explicit for that kind of thing. The pre-setup, the things, the whole thing about the pre-setup friggin' ploys was countered by claiming that those ploys are negated, right? Like you can't do those ploys. It negates their general rule and makes it so that you have to just instead get a free move and possibly open a door for the pre-game, you know, out of kill zone deployment type stuff. And yeah, like, okay, that's fine. That's cool, I guess. So here's the thing. This doesn't say you measure to where you're going. I honestly think, from my perspective, it is strong as hell. It is so strong. But I actually do think this goes through walls in close quarters. From raw rules perspective. They might change it. They might, you know, put an asterisk next to it or something. But if I go to close quarters rules, which would be Into the Dark, and we go to walls, Operatives cannot move over or through wall terrain regardless of any other rules other than the results of the accessible trait. Visibility lines cannot be drawn over or through walls. So let me take a look at what you posted here, because I think it said visible. If this operative is within shadow, perform a free normal move action, but instead of moving it, remove it from the kill zone and set it back up again within the shadow, but not within engagement range nor line of sight. Okay. So all walls are considered heavy, which makes this really strong. But it does say cannot move over or through wall terrain regardless. But it's like you're getting picked up and put back in. Oh, nice. Visibility lines, distance cannot be measured. Yeah, you're not measuring distance. In order for the wall to retain... And walls are heavy, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, all parts of the wall feature have the heavy. So, dude, mandrakes are going to be strong as hell in close quarters. Because if all you need to do is be within an inch of heavy terrain, you just hug the wall. And you permanently have a 4+ invuln. And all walls are in shadow. And you're not measuring. The only up in the air information about them is this first part. They cannot move over or through walls. I think if the operative is within shadow, perform a free move, but instead of moving, remove it from the kill zone, set it back up against within shadow, but not within engagement range. You're not moving. You're leaving the terrain and then coming back in the same action. Whereas, okay, so the comparative was the one that my friends and I found out doesn't work, is the Warp Coven. Warp Coven have a teleport under Warp Fire called Warp Portal. You choose an operative visible, or an operative that is visible within 3 inches. Remove it from the kill zone. Set it back up within 6 inches of this operative. The thing that makes it not work to go through walls is within 6 inches, because that 6 inches has to be measured around a wall. What's up, Warpforge? So, like, Warp Fire Discipline Warp Portal doesn't let you go through walls because of that 6-inch measurement. Meanwhile, Shadow Passage says nothing about measuring distance. I honestly think the mandrakes in close quarters could Shadow Passage into a closed room. Which, that is a horrifying concept. That is very strong. This is drying really quick. I'm actually kind of impressed. Now that we've got people here, I'm gonna bring this up again because I brought it up at the beginning when I was scared that no one was gonna show because I couldn't turn the stream to public through the normal means. I ordered stuff from an Etsy shop. A friend of the channel at this point messaged me on Discord and asked if I wanted free tokens, and I said nah, and then I ordered them. So it goes by Grotskull Workshop on Etsy. And to those who play 40k or pretty much anything, he just does really cool little prints of buttons and tokens based on faction. Battle Shock tokens. I have 1,000 Sun tokens. I think I ordered double 1,000 Sun tokens. I have Battle Shock tokens. I have Gene Stealer Cult, and I have Knights tokens that I ordered from him. They're all really cool. They're pretty good. It's basically kind of like how if you know how like button makers work, it's that, but this. So it's pretty durable and sturdy, and the tokens themselves look nice. Small enough that I'm not worried about carrying them places. I got a tournament, not this Saturday, sadly, although I was hyped for it. Yeah. So he sent it to me through International Post, which I don't know how many of you have dealt with International Post. It's hit or miss. So it missed, or it missed for a while. This is my first order. It finally came in literally today after months because it just got lost in post. And so I was like, hey man, they're lost. And he was like, I'll send you more. So there's apparently a second box coming. But yeah. No, these are, if you've ever done button making, I've done button making before. It's the same thing. They just don't put the little pin on the back. that you're supposed to pop in afterwards so you can hook it to things. So yeah, it's clear plastic front and then aluminum backed, so they're durable. And you can just place them down and be like, oh, my squad's battle shocked. These are getting huge. These are getting very huge in competitive play because even though 40K is like, hey, we're simple now, they're not. I mean, come on, we gotta be real. They're not simple. There's nothing simple about 40K right now. There's so many buffs, debuffs, things going around. Like, it's simpler than it was, but it's not that simple. And tokens definitely are gonna be very big going forward. Oh god, we gotta get under here. Don't cut my fingers off. Don't cut my fingers off. Don't cut my fingers off. Not how I want my channel to go down. Showing blood to people. But yeah, they're good. Grotskull Workshop. He had, from what I saw, almost every major 40K faction. He has buttons for like everything they do. All their buffs, debuffs. He has universal stuff. Pretty good. I like the refinement they've done to 40K. That's like, I don't view it as simple. I view it as refinement, pretty much. Like, that was kind of always the big thing for me, is that they needed to refine the rules. Because it's funny because I remember the interviews. They were like, "There's so many rules that are all the same, but they're all named differently." Because of flavor. Like, they sacrificed so much speed of play for flavor, and they were like, we need to fix this. We need to fix this now before it gets out of hand. And I agreed that that should have changed, so that like common abilities had common names, so that way if you see a squad of people with like a certain type of save benefit, rather than it being like, oh, they have the Hand of Asmodeus, which is this, and it's like, oh, that's the same thing as my Gaunts, which have the Maw of blah 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 blah. And it's, yeah, speed of play is a lot better if it's all just like, oh, they have uppy downy. Like, the cool part is uppy downy, like, there's a lot of abilities that a lot of squads have that are named with flavor still. It still happens. The Gaunts have Scuttler, and then the Enlightened have something else completely differently named. Same exact rules. So they still exist, but then the community has sort of filled in the blanks, it seems like. Like, uppy downy is the new way to talk about people that can leave the battlefield and come back. So uppy downy, that's how we call it these days. Vecting is the way to change cost values on command ploys. It's called vecting. I call the moving one scuttling, because that was where we learned about that originally, was when the Gaunts were like, we have this ability called scuttlers. So I just call it scuttling. What the? This 1 foot is almost off. Like, the blade goes almost the whole way under it. There's like this little pillar over here that's a problem. But I don't want to push too much harder, because the last thing I need is for it to pop out completely. No, yeah, there's gonna be terms for like general stuff, but like for rules, the community's building, like filling in the holes at this point, because we're all finding out that like, oh, fun rules, like oh, you roll a dice and you revive. That's cool. That feels very unique. And then you find like 6 other units that have it, and you're like, oh, I guess we'll just call it Phoenixing. Space Dwarves are, you mean the Votan? They're actually not bad. The buff they got recently made them really powerful. In 40k specifically. And then in Kill Team, honestly, they're really good. They have some of the best abilities right now from what I consider in the game. Like, they have a unit that negates many team functions. Like, the Locator just negates functions that a lot of teams have right now as like a core function. The ability to move around pre-game, the ability to set up outside of your deployment zone, that's a huge function for a lot of teams. And if they don't have it, those teams aren't going to win. Like, they need that ability to outscore the opponent. And the Hearth can just go, guess what? guess what you can't do now. Like, it's so good. And then their ability to control crit damage, it's just, oh. They're really good. I just don't think people play them. I think it's a concept of just not having enough players, because maybe people aren't as interested in the Votan as what we would think. Because the Votan are still the baby faction. They're brand new. Which, if you're thinking of getting into Warhammer 40k, when a faction comes out and is brand new and comes out with like boxes and stuff meant for its release, if you're thinking of getting into 40k, if that faction looks even remotely interesting to you, 100% purchase. Go, like, do it. Just play it. That is the cheapest way for you to get into 40k right away, because they always do really good deals for those teams on their initial release. Because they want old players to be like, to have that moment of like, oh, I could easily buy this. And then they want new players to maybe be like, oh, this is the best way to get in right now. The trick about them not placing well, there might be something built in. The maps might not be helpful for them. The people who play them might not. So like, you have to factor a lot of things in, and this is kind of the issue of looking at meta, right? If all the people playing Votan are only playing them for fun, you're not going to get a good meta output. Because if you're playing for fun, you're not really thinking of like all the BS you could do with the team. You're mostly focusing. I'm going to need new Razor Blades. You're mostly focusing on just having fun. You're like, oh, I want to go for the kill, I want to do this thing, I want to do that, and your team's probably not going to do well, because that's not how you win. Even though people are like, oh, I love doing that. Cool. Don't expect to win doing that. I'm glad you have something fun you like to do, but if you lose doing it, don't tell me you're sad. Like, so a lot of the big players who kind of know how to play Kill Team, I don't think play Hearthkin. Because they're interested in other teams. They love the Commandos still. They love the Vet Guards still. One of them really loved Gellerpox. He loved Felgor. Like, they love those teams. It's like everyone who goes, Compendium isn't competitive. But then when one of the very competitive, very good at the game players goes to LVO with the Hive Fleet and takes like 9th place out of 160 people, something's wrong, in my opinion, in the way people approach the game. It's not about thinking in those terms, it's about being better with the teams you're going to play and kind of knowing the pacing and methods of the game. And in my opinion, the Votan have all the tools you would want to be good. So the first 2 orcs we pulled off their bases was great. Part of me wants to put him in my freezer and see what happens at this point. I'm pretty sure my friend used Tamiya glue to glue him down, so this isn't really going to work. So yeah, it's hard to talk about. We go over this all the time in our local club whenever new meta comes out, and I love bringing it up like in a day to be like, oh man, you see the recent thing where Tower winning, and almost every single time I bring it up, the old heads in the crowd are like, that only shows that, you know, that you can't take that as it is. The players playing Tau right now are all like super fans of Tau. They know the rules in and out. They know the abusable rules. They're leaning on that. They're like, that's how they look. Is basically like, hey man, it's not like don't just buy Tau because Tau are winning. Just recognize that the people playing Tau are like long-term fans of Tau. They probably have every unit collected. They realize the list that works in the current meta, and they're just playing it and abusing it. Like, play what you want, blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, no, I get all that. Why? The first two guys I pulled were perfect. The rest of these guys are like Omega glued down. Well, they had to walk it back with the Gellerpox. The Gellerpox aren't slow like the Death Guard. The Death Guard 5-up Feel No Pain works because you can play around their lack of speed for the Death Guard, because the whole game is still that you have to get to places on the field to do things, and if you can't do that because your Death Guard are so goddamn slow, you're not gonna win. So you don't have as much room for error as a Death Guard player as other people. Like, you have to start scoring early and you have to maintain scoring while, you know, scoring on secondaries and preventing your opponent from doing so, which is not good with lack of mobility. Doable, but not easy, depending on the map. This is gonna be rough. This is so rough. Please tell me that this guy gets it though. I don't want to have to do too much to pull you. Oh. Jeez. I'm gonna have to get like a better laser blade, I think. A more flat one that I can slide back and forth easily. That's kind of how this is gonna end up working, is that I have to basically push and slide and push and slide. And this blade is meant more for detail than just whole things. What are you talking about? You can't even see them, they're purple. I got a lot to paint on them. I got their skin tones done, I got their armor started, but I gotta retone it. These guys are gonna take a while. I just don't like, I want to try cork basing, because cork basing I haven't done yet. It's one of the things in my toolbox that I wish I had done, but just haven't yet. Corkboard. dry for a little bit. Trim. Honestly, the Mod Podge is dried up pretty nicely already on this side. Dude, this is so solid. I gotta put some magnets on the bottom of my freaking castigator. Ugh, so much to do, man. I just feel like I'm falling behind. Thanks, Steel. And hopefully I can keep pace, keep the energy up, keep making more. I got all those recordings of making my castigator, of doing all that stuff. But I really need to get together, put out. Stuff's good. I like it. It does dry pretty clear too, it looks like. Pooled areas still have a lot going for them, but the areas on the surfaces are pretty much all dried in a shell that you can't even really see. I'm happy with. Highly recommend. So many orcs to work through. Okay, this one's not that bad so far. I'm like halfway through the foot already.
I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say, eh? To say the words to remember. Now we're here to take control over your body and over your soul. We're gonna take back everything.
Less pushing pressure, there we go. Foot feels so solid. 135. We're doing good.
Now we won't go back home today, until the very last hour.
Please.
We still got few
I just want to be able to remove him from his base. Alright, this one's going in the freezer. I'm gonna see if I can pop the other two off. They've been in the freezer for a few minutes. Maybe that'll work. Mostly because I'm mildly impatient. I was really hoping this wouldn't be as bad as it is. I can hear it crackling. I don't want to break the ankles, is the big thing. You judge needed a razor blade. At that point. Probably wouldn't be so bad if I could slide it back and forth. And just do like actual razor blade work on the base itself. My God. What the hell? I think my buddy used like genuine glue to put them on their base. I don't know what it is about when I do work like this, where I feel like it's fine at first. Oh God, we got 1 foot. Excellent. Like I feel like it's fine at first, and then because the first 2 we did, perfect, came right off. It was very clear my friend put like tiny hit of glue in like one corner and then just put them down, and it's like that's what you want. Right? Like you don't want to have to deal with too much. Tiny hit of glue, great. But then you get to this, and it feels like he basically like doused the whole underpart in glue and was like, that'll work. So now I have to carefully, with very little pressure for fear of it popping and then cutting my hand wide open. Yeah, we're at the end here. I feel it. It's like right there. There we go. That's that foot. Magnet came off as well. Good. Good. It's so stressful. It's just so stupidly stressful. middle. Don't apply too much pressure. Change sides. Dear God. It's working time. I don't want to just get them all off their bases now. Please let the grot be poorly glued down. No. He's so small. He's just wearing his gimp suit. Dude, there's like nothing holding him down. What the hell? So even with all the nerfs, I'm still interested in playing commandos. They still seem pretty good. Durable horde teams can get a lot done in Kill Team. I know a lot of people are pointing to the Vet Guard nerfs a bit more as an issue recently. I don't know, man. Feels about right. Alright, that foot's gone. What's crazy is I've seen people in comments be like, you never see orcs and vet guard win tournaments. This is going to be bad for them. And I'm like, literally in the video, I'm like, hey man, they just won LVO. Orcs just won LVO, vet guard took second place. You don't see them win tournaments because just not a lot of people play them. They're still really good teams. Four more to go, one in the freezer. Oh, God. I don't like that this one's so close to the edge. It makes me very paranoid. Doing anything over Easter? We got any cool plans? Has me saying out loud anyone doing something over Easter reminded you that Easter's literally this weekend? You might have stuff to do that you completely forgot about. He literally blew this whole thing like flawlessly. I'm gonna have to come out from the front because I don't want it to pop out. There we go. Yeah. My parents and like the rest of my aunts and uncles are trying to like get all of us to kind of take over. Like when we were kids, it was all about like, oh, every holiday you're gonna go see all of your extended family, right? We're gonna have big days where we all get together and, you know, do the whole family thing. And that was all of it from before. And now like our older family members are like, all right, we want to step back, let you guys do it. And literally for years, the let you guys do it literally meant none of us did anything. Like, dude. Okay, so there was, I remember, God, I had to have been 15. I'll tell the story in a second. Got a phone call. All right, so back at it, story time. So I was like 15, and we were at a Thanksgiving dinner with my family, and we were all sitting around, all of us, all the kids, everyone. The parents were in the other room at their, you know, where the adults table kind of situation. And, you know, they're all laughing, drinking, having fun, gossiping, blah, 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 what they do. And we're all in the room together, looking at each other, just dead silence. Just eating. And then one of us goes, so we're not gonna do this, you know, when it's our turn, right? Like this doesn't really work for us, does it? And we were all sitting there and we're like, yeah, probably not. Like, we were all completely fine never doing holiday stuff with family. Like, we just wanted to chill and like go through our lives and not really care about like family stuff. So like, now that most of them are becoming parents, like all my aunts and uncles and everything are like, why don't you guys do holidays together? And it's like pulling teeth. Like I'm gonna be doing Easter at my cousin's house, and it's a brunch. Like, it's just gonna be a midday thing, couple hours. Like none of us want to do any of it. We don't want to deal with it. We don't want to have to take part in it. And it's super annoying because, like, even when I was asking my cousin, like, what should I do? What did you want me to bring for the thing? And he was like, don't bring anything, and we're just gonna have brunch. I think he's just gonna get like a tray of half sandwiches or something and call it. And my mom was like, no, you gotta take something. I was like, he said not to take anything. And she called me the other day and was like, all right, I put an order in at a local bakery for 2 pies. I'm like, it's freaking brunch. What are you doing? Yeah, apparently I'm gonna be taking 2 pies to a brunch where I was told to take nothing. Life. 3 more. Jesus Christ. It's crispy. Oh, this one feels like it's about to just go. Beautiful. What is this song? I'm actually gonna favorite that. This is a pretty good basic song. Oh, word. Thank you, Burna Boy, for not being the biggest problem of all time. This one, though. Knew I could trust in you, Burna Boy. I feel like when we're done doing the basic colors, I am gonna put some white ink in my airbrush, and we're gonna try to do like glowing bits on their gun barrels and stuff. That's gonna be like a last hit. We're gonna do like a magenta. Ooh, nice. We're gonna do magenta to maybe chartreuse as like the glowing ends of barrels on guns and stuff. Oh, it's cracking. Dude, word. All right, one in the freezer. It's cracking. Game blouses. Alright, now to make a massive mess with corkboard. I don't want it all to feel kind of samey. I'd rather it have like a little bit of variance between the different bases. Mod Podge came out really nice. Pretty solid. This one's almost done being dried too. We might be able to do a test run for the paint. Considering the time, I'm pretty sure all I'm really going to be able to do is once these are cut and then Mod... Oh, hang on. Yep. Yeah, it's good for texture. I still don't like the height. I'm definitely not a big fan of, you know, taller bases. I prefer the bases to kind of sit nicely. But, you know, I kind of leaned into it for this project. I was like, yep. We'll do it this way. That's fine. Poggers. Got 2 large, 1 small. This must have been before my buddy started using Gorilla Glue for the magnets. Freezer screwed that up. So 1 big, 1 small. This is kind of what I wish I was doing for my Votan and my Scouts. Cause well, I guess the Votan aren't bad because the whole planet surface for the Votan setup looks like a glowing planet. So I don't have to do like the glowing brights coming out of crevices thing that I'm gonna do here. Super glue left over for the magnets on the bottom of my castigator. Nice. I got super glue. I would not want to do a whole army this way, just to be clear.
Poggers. Poggers.
Find your way into this wonderland. Cross the maze, the dark, the innocent. Chase the faith, the thrill, the heaven sent. I got you wild upside down. The labyrinth will guide you far away to a place where senses will decay. Your ghost and mind will shadow play. I got you wild upside down. Upside down. Find your way into this wonderland. Cross the maze, the dark, the innocent. Chase the faith, the thrill, the heaven sent. I got you wild upside down. The labyrinth will guide you far away to a place where senses will decay. Your ghost and mind will shadow play. I got you wild upside down.
Why? Why am I muted? I actually don't know why I was muted. I could have swore I turned the mute off. Jesus. I hate when people try to get in contact with me. Alright, so let's roll it back. Bikers. If the rumors of Emperor's Children are true, we should be getting new bikers. There's locals in the club that use tons of bikers. They specifically use Necromunda bikers because they hate the regular looking stuff. They don't... Like, they want better looking bikes. They want better stuff for their bikers. And they play... They're playing like Emperor's Children, basically. Ooh, this stuff sticks to the milliput pretty well. So we really do. I mean, that's the holding pattern we're in, right? We're in the holding pattern of if Emperor's Children's coming out as their own detachment, that means we need to know about it before the Chaos Codex drops, or literally as the Chaos Codex drops. And then I do feel like, because they do new model announcements for every codex that's been dropped so far. Either tons of new models for the frickin' Kroot, which that's huge. Seeing all that new stuff was like, wow. What are they gonna do with the other stuff going down the road? Because I know Custodes were like, you get one new model. Like, yay. But now they're just like, hey, by the way, the entirety of the Kroot got an update. And it's like, oh, cool. Well, what are you gonna do with the later ones? Like, in my opinion, GSC was probably going to be like one new troop choice or something, and maybe one leader. But like GSC, in order to feel like its own faction, needs a lot of new stuff, because the reality is, I mean, technically we got the Brood Brothers, right? Like the Kill Team Brood Brothers. If you're going to run friggin' Brood Brothers for your team from like Imperial Guard, you could just buy those. That's, you know, that's fine, whatever. But now that I'm seeing like big stuff, like crazy amounts of things coming out for some factions, it's like maybe this is like, it gives you that kind of false hope, right? I know Valrak and everyone keeps pointing to the idea of an Emperor's Children Codex coming soon. Finally the release of Emperor's Children. And then this kind of stuff gives you that false hope of like, dude, they could, like, if they're going this hard with new lines of like stuff for Kroot and all that, why not, man? Like, why not be like, all right, here's the whole new line of Emperor's Children models, including new bikers, which are usable for all Chaos bike units. Because they showed us the Jump Pack Lord and stuff, and it's like, alright, cool. The Battle Force looks nice. Alright, fine. I got like 15 minutes to finish putting the basing down on this guy before I gotta go. Mod Podge should be dry by Monday. So hopefully when I stream Monday, we'll be finishing up the, putting the orcs together at least. getting them how they need to be. So we can actually get through them pretty quickly, hopefully. Like, you show off all the crazy things you did for Kroot and then 2 models for Chaos. That feels like it's because the most focus they put on Chaos might have been on something else for Chaos. Now, when it comes to the idea of FOMO and trying to make sure the stuff you're putting out sells, like, is kind of the goal when you're playing, when you're doing, like, tabletop stuff. You want everything that you're putting out to at least sell through, like, as much as humanly possible. I do think you don't say that Emperor's Children are getting new stuff, right? Like, you don't say that. You don't bring it up. That's not part of kind of your approach. Instead, you make all Emperor's Children players think, I need to buy the Chaos Codex, which honestly, probably. It's probably best for the Emperor's Children players to play a detachment from the Chaos Codex, because right now that's what you're doing with the index cards, right? Like, Emperor's Children players have to use the index in order to play them at all. So, like, that's a whole thing. So until the Emperor's Children Codex does actually drop, you're gonna need to use the regular Chaos Codex. So it's sort of a way to force you to double dip. Which could be seen as kind of like a crap thing to do. Sure, I'm not gonna belittle people who think that's a bad thing. But there's also the idea that within the Space Marine factions, you have the sub-factions, right? And apparently you can use the Space Marine detachment rules with the sub-factions? I've seen a lot of people post like, oh yeah, they're playing Black Templar, but they're using the Gladius rules. They're playing Black Templar, but they're using this rule. They're playing Space Wolves, but they're using this rule from the Space Marines Codex. And it feels very much like you can kind of play the sub-faction for the units, but then just use a regular detachment rule, since it all kind of works the same. So, like, that might end up being what you do with Emperor's Children. Now, the problem is, if the people who play Emperor's Children get the Codex and the units that they use right now, like the Noise Marines and all that, if they're not in the Codex, I feel like they have to, if they're planning on doing Emp Children, and if they're getting rid of the Emp Children units out of the Chaos Codex, those are going to have to get released as index cards, or they're going to just say, like, they'll keep the index cards that already exist for them, right? Like, they've been removing the armies from the index that get their codexes. A little annoying, but whatever. So maybe Chaos Codex drops, the Chaos Index gets pulled, but then in its place, Emperor's Children specific units get their own index. And it's just the cards from the Chaos original index. That way you have a supplement to add to your codex until the Emperor's Children book drops. At which point they should... That's the point where they're just like, yeah, by the way. You'll be able to use Lucius and everyone. They'll be able to be used in the Chaos Codex for a while. Until we actually drop the Emperor's Children specific stuff. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm saying it would be like a best course of action. I think it would be weird for the Chaos Codex to have Noise Marines, only for Noise Marines to no longer be in the Chaos Codex, or like, to be part of a different codex later. It would just feel weird. I mean, they could, because then it kind of doesn't matter. To do this last little bit over here. I gotta get moving. Mod Podge is already mostly dry on at least the main surfaces, which is good. Those who don't know, Mod Podge is a PVA glue that dries matte. I believe it's normally used in like scrapbooking and stuff. If you're gonna scrapbook like big things like flowers and stuff. Because since it dries matte, you don't lose the visual quality of whatever you're gluing down with it. And it dries pretty solid, so it's like very protective of whatever the surface is. I had someone that I watched on YouTube suggest using it if you get crazy with your basing. Because the biggest issue about going crazy with your basing is that it could fall apart. It could. So a way to get around it falling apart is to basically seal it with glue. So when I decided to do corking, I realized corking falls apart because corking is just like compressed, well, I guess like cardboard and wood chippings and stuff. Like it's just cork wood that's been compressed, I think. So when you break it apart, it goes into a mode where it's like completely full crumbling. I was very worried about that going into it, so I decided I would just Mod Podge it all down once I had it set up. So here we are. most of this is now covered, but there's a spot on the front toe of this side foot over here I'm a little worried about. I just hit this person. Dunk on him. Piping, frickin' frosting onto stuff. All right. Patching done. Freaking basing update done. Looks so good. Alright, I gotta get moving. 256. I gotta get on the road. I gotta get out there. Again. Thanks for hanging out. We're almost done. We just have to color the bases on the little ratlings for the Black Fortress, which will be good. That's all that requires. Again, from twice so far we've talked about it. I finally got my tokens from Grot Skull Workshop for the game. Definitely check them out on Etsy. Tokens are getting big in 40K, so it helps out. Try to speed up your type of play when you kind of know what everything has, debuffs, things you have access to. It's super useful. But yeah, other than that, I gotta get moving. Have a good weekend to everyone. Hopefully we'll meet back here Monday. We'll see. Gotta start working on a new video. Later.